I'm going to do something crazy right now, and I'm going to appeal to Republicans because not that I think any of them will see this video given my followers, but I'm thinking a lot about this big, beautiful bill that just got passed.
Before we get into this video, why do all of these liberal women that are on the internet talking and speaking on behalf of Democrats and liberal policies and views, why do they all have that nose ring thing that's right there, that bullfrog ring or whatever it is, that septum ring? Is that what it's called, a septum ring? The septum ring. Is that like an initiation thing? Somebody in the chat let me know. Is the septum ring the barrier to entry before you can actually call yourself a liberal? And do you know any conservative women that actually have a septum ring? Not a nose ring, a septum ring, because they all look the same. Let me get back into the video. I'm sorry. It just distracts me. It's like they earthy septum rings, broke, all of that type of stuff.
And how it's just tax breaks for the 1% while the middle class pays. Like, that's where this money is coming from. It's the most expensive bill, like, in modern history. I don't know if it's the most expensive ever, but it's a really, really expensive bill. And all of these social benefits are being cut. Medicaid, SNAP, food stamps, Pell Grants being limited, student loans are being limited, like things that we like our government to do with our money. But all of that money is going away, and the wealthy is going to continue to get wealthier. And so
This is the dumbest thing that I've ever seen. Listen, y'all, all of the stuff, for example, and y'all need to go and read the bill. You can actually leverage AI to help you get through it more effectively. It's about 900 pages, but you need to go and read the bill. And you need to understand economics, you need to understand finance. So, for example, when we talking about Medicaid, food stamps, welfare, everybody that is supposed to get it is going to get it. If you are disabled, if you are a veteran, that is disabled. If you are elderly, if you have a disability, if you have any of these things, if you are any of those things and you actually need a hand up, or if you just so happen to be going through it, okay, cool. But if you are an able bodied adult, and there are people, black, white, and everything in between, that has been leveraging our federal government and tax dollars in order to justify their lifestyle, you either gonna have to go to school, get yourself together, do some volunteer work, or at least start to work at least 20 hours. And then you have to be responsible about how many kids you have. When we talk about student loans need to be revamped anyway because the amount of people that's taking it out for basket weaving degrees is stupid, it's crazy. And so you're gonna have to qualify for it or either pay for it yourself, but then all of a sudden everybody gonna want student loan forgiveness. You see what I'm saying? So much in the United States of America needs to be revamped. But when we talk about our budget, yes, we need more money to make sure that we protect our borders. It is the very thing that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden said that they wanted, even though they never enforced the laws that was on the books, right? When we talk about tax breaks, it's not going to just the 1%. All of the Trump's tax cuts that existed when he was in first, all they did was extend it mainly. But what he did do is he put provisions in and made sure that, at the end of the year when you file your taxes, no tips, no taxes on tips, overtime, all of this, everything that he promised on the campaign trail, right? On average, economists are saying that for the average person or the average family and household, you'll have more than $12,000 additional in spending power. And then he's also incentivizing more jobs to be created inside of the United States of America, which is one of the reasons why we had the tariff war, right? And so if you actually go through and read the bill, if you actually understand that, we do need funding to make sure that our borders are secure, which the majority of the resources that was taken out, if you actually look at what he's done over the last 6 months in lowering inflation to almost 2%, which is unreal to do in less than 6 months. If you realize that we're about to start having a rate cut, which allows for people to have lower interest rates so that they can buy homes. I don't really understand what a problem is. A lot of these issues that people are complaining about are self-inflicted wounds. Nothing, and I mean literally, gas prices is lower, eggs are lower, the cost of living is lower in general. And of course, you're going to have people that have self-inflicted wounds. If you took out a student loan, you don't have to pay that back. But I'm really trying to understand what it is that he cut from people that is affecting y'all everyday lives. First, they said that everything was going to be effective when he first got into office, and then that changed. And now they're sitting there saying that they count other people's money. And this is one of the reasons why liberals are so crazy and they're trying to get this guy elected over in New York, is because they want a form of socialism. Basically, what they want to do is they want to take more money out of the pockets of the people that actually earned it and somehow, some way divide it amongst themselves without actually working for it.
What I want to know, because for a lot of Republicans, the biggest issue for them is the southern border and immigrants coming into this country, and this idea that immigrants are just scamming off of hardworking Americans.
Illegal migrants that send money back home. That, by the way, over in Mexico, they are protesting for Americans to get out of their country, and for anybody that is not a legal citizen of Mexico, either speak Spanish or get the fuck out, because they feel like we're gentrifying when we go over there and we live over in their country. But neither here nor there. Let's continue.
Getting all these social welfare benefits and not having to work hard themselves, which I can understand that being an upsetting situation if someone is taking the money that you've worked hard to earn. So what I don't understand is why we don't have that same energy for billionaires. Because I think we all know that it's not just like, wow, this person is so much better an employee than I am, which is why they're a billionaire. Like, it's not like they started it's not like they were the most amazing hourly wage worker, and just because they were so good, they became a billionaire over time.
They worked their ass off. They bet everything that they had on their business. Most of them failed multiple different times. Elon Musk, in particular, he was sleeping on the manufacturing floor when he invested in PayPal, and then he took every dime and he started borrowing from his friends. And I'm not feeling sorry for him, because guess what? If you lose your business, or there's plenty of people that fail, or there's plenty of people that do startups every single day, and they got to go and get a job as a result of it. Nobody cares. We only know about the ones that's successful. On average, overwhelmingly, the majority of businesses that are started are fail. They created a product that ultimately, Jesus, these people are so against capitalism. So you just take somebody's success, because it used to be millionaires. Now we only equate it to billionaires, right? And they automatically demonize them, even though they are the ones that provide the majority of the jobs that I'm sure that she's working at, but she believes that she deserves a slice of somebody else's money. It kind of reminds me of that woman that actually was like, she was mad at Jeff Bezos for not tipping $1 million when he came into the restaurant. I mean, let me just let it play for the rest of it, because this is so dumb, bro.
We know that it's largely because connections. They have rich friends, they have rich parents, and they know the right people. So we know that that's the case. We don't think that people work up from nothing and become billionaires. We know that that's not what happens anymore, and maybe it was achievable, but it's not anymore. So in order to get to that point of being a billionaire, we know that it's not because these people are just working so much harder than us. It's just because they have managed to hack the system correctly. And I think it's also really valid to feel frustration about that, which is a lot of what the left feels frustration about. And it's just that immigrants are consistently placed as a scapegoat because if you're yelling at the immigrants for coming here and taking money from hardworking Americans, you're not yelling at the billionaires that are absorbing all the wealth by keeping wages low, by doing all the things that billionaires have to do to become that level of wealthy. We know that workers are being laid off because corporations and billionaires are largely able to make human working jobs moot. That's where AI comes in, automating lots of jobs, so they no longer need humans to do these jobs. And so that does create a large group of disillusioned Americans who had their jobs taken away, who have been fucked over by the system. So why is there only frustration at immigrants for coming into this country trying to get a better life for themselves, while billionaires are actually actively exploiting people? I just think that if we could take that anger and that energy and that sense of self-righteousness and that desire to not be fucked over, to not have people take the things that you've worked for, we should be directing that anger and frustration towards the 1%, not towards.
So take all of the money away from the 1%. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. The best day to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month.